Hello, name's Annan. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks very much for tuning in. Today I am bringing you a fully Earth-themed build, and one that I have played many times over the course of the years. I do like this a lot. It is a janky build. It takes forever, like most Earth builds. It's kind of clunky, it's sluggish, it's weird and hard and difficult to use at times. But that's also what I personally love about the element Earth in Wizard of Legend, and why it is still the most fun element to me, and it probably always will be. It's just difficult to wield, and that's what I like. Usually in games that have this kind of elemental system or focus on the elements, I'm not so much an Earth guy at all. In fact, I really love Ice, maybe even branching out into water or these shadowy kind of in the dark elements. But in Wizard of Legend, for whatever reason, Earth just really hits home for me. And so I'm very much looking forward to playing this run, and it's gonna be a long one, so strap in. And I'm probably gonna ramble a lot. I feel like I'm getting sick here as well. It's kind of getting hard to talk. However, I do want to do this today. I do want to bring this out today. So, yeah. I hope you're ready. Grab a snack, grab some drinks, and then let's get right into it, shall we? Today's build is so fittingly called Poison Ivy, a fully earth, fully planned, fully poison themed build. Let's get into the specifics, shall we? For our robe, we will be using the Patience robe, which color-wise doesn't match this build identity. However, everything else about it is fantastic. We are essentially cosplaying as a plant, which only has the default plant defense mechanisms, such as thorns, such as a mild poison, or a strong poison to paralyze our enemies and root them, in this case. So, Patience, in that, the name, definitely helps in that it matches the build in that we are gonna be trying to whittle down our opponent's health mostly with the poison status ailment, for which we have to be very patient. Poison, both in real life and this game, takes a very long time to take effect and kill, so it just fits like a treat. And then stat-wise, it increases our max health by 5%, our run speed by 10%, and then both our armor and evade chance by 5%. It is nothing wild at all. It's fine if you completely forget what this does. Essentially, just keep in mind, Patience, that's a very defensive rope. So the longer you play a run with this, the more damage you will mitigate and straight up just not take at all, which is great. The run speed is okay, so it's like a very universal, defensively okay, or rather mediocre robe. Once you upgrade it, yeah, you gain a lot of benefits from it. There's just a lot of times where you will net not taking damage or taking massively reduced damage from an attack. But it's nothing wild at all, especially the base version when compared to, say, the Fury robe or the Venture robe, like these very offensive strong robes, or even other defensive robes such as Grit or Spirit, which just give you a lot of healing and they give you a lot more bang for your buck. This just gives you a little bit of everything, which is fine, that's what we like. Now, the weakness expressed in these stat increases is also perfectly on par with this theme of being a plant. Plants are generally very weak. They only have a handful, usually one or maybe two at maximum defense mechanisms per plant type. They are not meant to defend themselves, they are meant to be preyed upon, to be eaten by animals and humans alike, or just be destroyed by weather and other circumstances. Okay, so like erosion, for example. And therefore we are not super resilient, we are rather weak, we are rather unimportant, rather in the background and unnoticeable. And that's the whole idea of this build. We are the underdog. We are the underdog plant guy. The weird bug catcher Pokemon trainer, you feel me? So, I feel like that's a pretty good comparison, to be honest. I just came up with that on the fly, like as I usually do. This video is unscripted, as per usual, to practice talking and not stuttering. For our starting relic, we will be running the offensive Devi's Bug Spray, which is on par with this theme again, in that Bug Spray helps us get rid of those pesky bugs trying to attack us, as we are defenseless plants. for the most part, and bugs pretty much destroy us. They are our arch enemies, so let's get rid of those pesky bugs. It also increases the potency of our poison status effects. Which means what, you might ask? Well, let's check that out. So this is the regular poison status effect. It ticks down for X seconds for 5 damage per tick, and it ticks very slowly. I believe it deals 20 damage or so. I didn't exactly count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 25 damage total. That is pretty good for a status effect, however it takes ungodly long. It is ridiculous how long this takes. And why is that an issue? Well, sorry here, I gotta take a sip, I think. My throat is very dry. So why is that an issue, you might ask? It's an issue because we are running a poison themed build. So we're not applying poison once in a while. We are trying to build our whole strategy around applying poison and killing with it. So once this is applied, if I try to reapply it, that doesn't work. Now the enemy essentially can only have one debuff active at a time, and applying poison again on the same enemy does not renew it. The poison still is ticking down, and then only after it has ticked down all the way can you reapply another poison. And as you can tell by my cooldown, this ticks for so long that this ability comes entirely off cooldown. So I just use this again because it's my best ability by the looks of it, right? It hits many people at a time, it roots them and poisons them. Great. So that's a bit of an issue. It's not a bit of an issue, it's actually a lot of an issue. Another issue why poison is just too slow for the game is that you don't want to stand around as a player waiting for your enemies to die when trying to make a strategy around poison. As a player, it also really sucks getting poisoned because the duration is so long. You keep getting cancelled out. You kind of have to hide somewhere and wait it out. Otherwise, you don't really have a guarantee you will land your abilities. It is really annoying as a player, but using it as a player is atrocious. Also into bosses, it does a very slow DPS. That's not typically what you want. You want to burn down bosses as quickly as humanly possible in order to not take as much damage. If you want to play aggressively, specifically, like I personally would prefer, you do want to kill them as fast as possible. You want to be right up their faces and you want to smash them to pieces. And poison absolutely does not do that whatsoever. Also, it's a given, poison is a status ailment, and therefore Sura is entirely immune to it, which I still hate to this very day. I love status ailments. That's exactly the type of stuff that I would personally build and play with all the freaking time, and I would in Wizard of Legend as well if they weren't so bad just because of Sura. All other bosses, not immune, but Sura. He's immune to everything, and that really sucks. It really just eradicates certain strategies. So the goal of today with playing this build, or playing any status ailment build, for me personally, is not beating Sura, it's getting there. That's the fun part. If I can get there consistently with my build, it's a fun build. It's a fun experience. If I can't beat Sura, well, so be it. Who cares? I don't like Sura even. Like, he's not a fun end boss. For that reason and that reason alone. He just forbids certain strategies, and that really sucks. Okay, anything I'm forgetting here? So, poison is too slow, it applies the damage too slowly, it lasts for too long, so you can't easily reapply it. You can't reapply it, period, until the effect is completely over, and we are casting a total of 3 poisoning abilities in a massive range. So this is definitely a large issue. We definitely gotta capitalize on poison, but it is made pretty difficult just simply by the way the mechanic works. So for that reason, we are gonna be using Devi's bug spray, which makes the poison tick like so, which is a lot faster. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it ticks 7 times for 35 damage. That's slightly more damage. It's cool, right? It's 10 more damage, but it also ticks a lot faster, and I feel like it gains a little more value. It doesn't exactly look at the cooldown, right? It doesn't exactly end any faster. I believe it still has exactly the same duration, if not slightly longer. but we get slightly more per cast ability. So our main goal here is not going to be poisoning all of our enemies all the time. As we just established, that can be done using one ability without any items or cooldown reduction. Just this ability alone, as an example, is good enough to keep poison applied on all enemies at any given time. And I just use it all again, and so on and so forth. So the other abilities are gonna have to be kind of versatile in that. They can apply poison, but they can also be used to deal damage. Getting into those. For our basic, therefore, we will be running Bladed Vine, the only nature or plant-themed earthen basic Arcana we have, so that's a given. Which is quite nice. I do like using this a lot. It is very strong for a change. That's nice, right? So you cast forward these vines which pierce an infinite number of enemies. This counts as a melee Arcana, though it has a large range, like so. It's very fast, it can keep them stunned out easily, you can keep your distance easily, still kind of sucks into Lancers though. And yeah, overall it's just very strong. It does very good damage, has a lot of signature charge generation. I really love the upgrade as well. So this final hit, you can tell, is a little longer than the other two. And then on the upgraded version, the final hit is gonna consist of 3 individual hits. So it's gonna do 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, which is nice. That's just a very good damage up. We definitely care a lot about that, and you can easily build around making this your main damage Arcana, and that's probably what we're going to be having to do, to be honest, since the other Arcana are not particularly damage heavy and mostly rely on applying poison. Like our next Arcana, Toxic Trap for our dash. This is absolutely nothing special. You just dash and it throws a vial of toxins, or rather a toxic trap, underneath you, so where you started the dash, in a rather large AoE, poisoning enemies and applying a little bit of damage, 10 damage on hit, which is cool. At least it deals some damage. It's not just poison, so it's not entirely useless into Sura. Though this is a very, very bad Arcana generally. It just fits the fits the topic here, so that's why we're gonna be using it. The upgrade just throws 2 vials, one behind you where you start the dash, and one where you end the dash in front of you. We don't generally care about upgrading this at all. It can remain as is. It's just a little helper, and that's it. Nothing more than that. For our standard, we'll be running the prickly Violent Thornstorm, which is nice. I do like this a lot. It's a charged Arcana with a bit of a twist. Now, usually charged Arcana get a lot stronger the longer you charge them. This one, not so much. I can just toss this. It's a cactus. Yes, it is a cactus. You saw that right. I toss this cactus at my enemies, it stun locks them, it doesn't pierce, but it kind of groups them up very well, it stun locks them, deals very good damage actually. And then that's it. I could also charge it, that was about 29 damage there, right? I can also charge it to any degree, and when I charge it fully, again I can hold this like most charged standard Arcana, and then I can let go at any given point, and once it's fully charged, it will then also burst, after having hit our enemies, into a bunch of caltrops, as I like to call them, because they are supposed to be thorns on the ground, but they mostly look like poisonous caltrops, which is great if you're into ninja theme. Now this deals a lot more damage, and it poisons the enemies, and it remains on the ground like our toxic trap for a considerable amount of time, which is fantastic. That just, again, it's one of those that deals good damage, and one of those Arcana that can easily reapply poison many times to a lot of folks. And you can just reuse to then reapply the poison once the poison expires. Super strong, similar to our signature that we've been using so far for demonstration purposes. And the upgrade is also very nice. It's like with most charge Arcana, it charges up twice as quickly, which is great, because you always want to full charge this. It deals slightly more damage, if not a lot more damage actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Especially to single targets, you always want to fully charge it. It has a good range, like most charged standard Arcana, you can just toss it from pretty much anywhere. However, again, like pretty much any charged signature Arcana, I love, by the way, the fact that my robe is displayed inside of the wall here. Similarly to my robe, if I charge this up against or into this wall here and then release, it will get stuck in the wall. And even the spikes in this case are completely hidden inside of the wall. If I did this on an edge like here, oh, that actually worked. Let's do it, say, down here. No, not really getting a good spike spread there, but that's fine. You get what I'm saying. You don't want to chug it up against walls because, yeah, you're just kind of hindering yourself there, and you are losing precious, precious time that you could be using to poison your enemies and wait for that poison to expire. Finally then, in our build, we got a lovely signature, which I wish were stronger. It is very low damage. I love this ability so much. It's such fun, but unfortunately, it's a poison ability, and therefore, the game devs just kind of said, yeah, it's gotta suck. I'm sorry. This is Toxic Bolas. I would argue this is a charged Arcana. It's not. It's one that you can hold, similarly to the Ice Spear, the Glacial Spear. You can hold it for as long as you desire and then spin around and enjoy this little poisonous effect and the skulls popping out of there. I like that quite a lot. I love the way it looks as well. Now you throw a Toxic Bola, piercing an infinite number of enemies because this is a signature version and it therefore pierces. Unlike the base version of this Arcana, which doesn't, and which is infinitely worse than this version of it. So it pierces them. It roots them, it deals good damage at 35, if I recall correctly, and then it poisons them, and it has a rather short cooldown, which absolutely is on par with the poison duration. Like so. Very sweet, love the sound, it is very satisfying, it helps you out a lot by rooting the enemies, and therefore just ticking down on that timer of having to wait for the poison to expire. It helps you a lot. It allows you to just poison them, rooting them, and then just walk away. You can hear the poison off screen as well, which is great. So you can definitely determine, and you will eventually get a good feel for it just by looking at its cooldown, for example, or listening to the sound, and then just having an eternal timer ticking in your head. You will get a good feel for when to go back in and reapply the poison. I strongly recommend just looking at the timer, but that might change over time as you find more cooldown reduction, so that might be a little unreliable for the long term. Now, this deals very poor damage into bosses compared to other signatures. It still deals okay damage in my opinion. The 35, it's not wild, it's not great, but it's okay. But as soon as you charge it, you see, it's a little bit of a downfall. This is a shotgun spread of the Toxic Bolas. So in a cone in front of you, you throw a bunch of bolas like so. But unfortunately, this is only applicable once to bosses. Okay, so if I stand in front of the single target here and I strike them with this massive bola, it will only hit them once. It still deals good damage, don't get me wrong, it's just... and it leaves behind this pool of poison that I'm just now noticing. Which doesn't really make a huge difference, because you can only apply poison once. It just looks cool. It looks cool, it feels good, but it's very bad. I hate that. I wish every single hit would count. But that's unfortunately not exactly how it works. Oh well. It's just a very underwhelming Arcana. I personally really love it. I know people generally don't. I think it looks very cool, it feels very good, and it should be a lot better than it is. Makes me kind of sad. I should just stop the rambling at this point. I just keep talking as if I'm talking to myself and just debating on whether I still love this and how much I do. So instead, let's move on with the build, so I don't have any time to cry about it. And I don't think there's anything else to unpack here. There's not really any particular combos or anything else to explain here. We've explained poison, we've explained the theme here, the robe, the bug spray, what to upgrade as soon as possible, such as our basic and our standard. And I'd say, let's get into the run. Let's finally play it. We are running the piano music here for good measure, as we're gonna have to spend a lot of time in this run, and I just want to have a chill time today. So, for the intended build playstyle, it's a very defensive playstyle, as we've already established. You poison your foes, you run away. Hit and run. That's the name of the game. And then when you actually need a bunch of damage, you use your signature, you use your basic, you use your standard, and just apply the damage. It's simple as that, really. There's nothing difficult to learn or unpack here. So moving on to potential problems. Earth Arjun, massive problem. Atlas, big problem. You deal no damage. No damage there at all. Your abilities are already fairly low damage, and then in Earth Dungeon, you just get eradicated. Everything is poison immune. It really sucks. You don't at all want to see that dungeon. You definitely want to soften the blow if you have to fight the dungeon, so go for it first rather than later. Or at least try to get it as your second dungeon. I know you can't exactly influence that, but pray that it's at least like your second dungeon, so you got some time to get good items, and maybe like a bunch of damage up, so you can at least consistently deal a bunch of damage instead of having to rely on the poison status effect. Now, if it's your third, you are just kind of fucked unless you have a lot of damage. It's super duper annoying. Everything is super fast and poison immune. You can't stop the enemies in their tracks to kill you. It's so annoying. I'd say some of the worst enemies are the knights. They can also reflect your bolas. Rooting and poisoning you, they can reflect your massive cactus back at you, which is like, oh man, that is so bad. When this happens, it is one of the worst moments in this game. When a bola gets reflected at you, and then imagine you're in multiplayer as well, and both of you get rooted and poisoned. That is some of the worst shit that I've ever witnessed in this game, and I have many times, because I played with this many times all over. Also, I hate the thieves. The Earth Dungeon thieves, my god, are they just a massive pain in the ass on this build. And they also leave caltrops as one of the effects, meaning that you can easily mix up their and your caltrops. It's very bad. It's very bad. Don't go there at all. Just use it as your first dungeon and then never return. Never look back. Don't even consider it. You don't have to play the dungeon perfectly by any means. It's fine. It's fine, okay? I know what you're going through. If you're playing Earth Dungeon, I know exactly what you're going through. It's torture. It's a pain in the ass, especially the more elemental enemies you find, the worse you're gonna feel. The worse it's gonna get, and the more damage you're gonna take, naturally. It's just hardly avoidable. Okay, moving on from that bit of a downer. Wind is also an issue, which I hate because that's already my least favorite area to go to. Both the dungeon and the boss, they just suck ass. I hate evasion, it's super annoying to the player. I also hate being poisoned. I also hate the shoe attacks, just how rapidly shoe attacks and how he easily gets you stun locked for days and killed. Straight up, if you carry items such as double trouble, or like just generally have a rather low HP pool on like 300 or less HP. Man, I really hate Sura, and this build really sucks into Wind, which is one of the reasons I don't play them that often, because I don't want to have to juggle two terrible dungeons. It is very likely that I will be seeing at least one of them in my run, if not both, because I pretty much always have to go for Earth as a first dungeon with this one. So yeah, there's a lot of issues to this build. A lot of them. We have established how bad poison is in this game, and that even with the Devi's bug spray, it is still terrible. We've had established how bad the element typing of this build is, because you might have to fight Shu, you might have to fight the Shu dungeons, you might have to fight Atlas or the Atlas dungeons, and my god, you're gonna be in for a bunch of trouble. A pretty bad, difficult time. But that's also a bit of an upside. If you like the challenge, go ahead. I do like that. I don't like fighting Shu. I cannot re-stress that enough. And finally, for our recommended items in Arcana section, anything goes. Anything that is big, flashy, and gives you a bunch of damage is cool. Cooldown reduction is fine, though not really advisable, since you have to charge this Arcana, so it takes a while. And then the Bolas, yeah, you like cooldown reduction in the Bolas, actually. That's pretty good. Just your other two are cooldown-based Arcana don't typically benefit from cooldown reduction. Toxic Trap definitely does not. And then this also really doesn't, because you always have to charge it. You can just toss it out, but it deals a lot less damage if you do so. Also into bosses. So cooldown reduction is like, it's cool, but also not really necessary. You do want any and all damage increases like stones, pixels, sprites, fairies. You really want basic Arcana enhancements, such as the candies, those are fantastic. And then you'd want general damage ups. I would even suggest to not go for signature charge with this one, because it's just not super powerful. It is okay, it deals okay damage compared to the rest of your build, right? It deals a lot more damage than anything else you got, But still, fully investing into a signature charge build is definitely not the way to go. It's not super good. At least against Zero, right? With the signature version of Toxic Bolas, you can easily get rid of those shadow orbs, of those chaos orbs. That's helpful, okay? But that's the only thing it really does. It does like a tiny chunk to the health bar of, say, 5% of the health bar per hit. So even a full signature charge build is not super powerful. You can kind of combine those things. I do like doing that. I do like going for a bit of a basic Arcana build, then also increasing my signature charge and then my damage overall, just to make everything a little better, just a little stronger, so we don't suck as much. Because if all of our abilities suck, we got an issue. If only one ability is good, we got a bit of an issue, because we have a lot of downtime then. And we generally want to have a very well-rounded build with this one in order to win a run. And then we don't want to take things that make us take a lot more damage, or that drastically lower our HP pool, like Heartrender's Amulet, I believe it's called, for example, or Double Trouble. Even though Double Trouble is generally very good, with this build, it's a little clunky. It's not that easy to apply damage in the first place, so you're just going to be taking a lot more damage than you can handle. You won't have so much money all the time that you can just decide to buy healing pots and all. In fact, you will probably be starved of money, since you need to buy a lot of damage ups, a lot of defense ups to even stay in the game. Now, in terms of Arcana, it's just the usual, right? I always say that. Jump Arcana are very good. They allow you to dodge and deal a lot of damage. Permafrost Bulwark, for example, is very versatile as well. It allows you to not take damage. It allows you to dodge easily and then deal a hefty chunk back. And then the usual high damage, high AoE, very strong Arcana like Explosive Fireball, Bolt Claymore, and the likes are always very welcome. You also like Fueled Berserk, right? I am starting to remember that name, or being able to remember that name more and more. I really have trouble still, a lot. I feel like that name is just super hard to remember. I would have much preferred Pyromaniac or Pyromancy or something. That would have been so much more fitting in my opinion. But yeah, Fueled Berserk is also very welcome with this, since that allows us to just keep holding our thorns, which is great. And then we occasionally reapply poison while doing that. Yeah, that's cool. Let's hope we find good stuff, because if not, we might not even win the run. We might not even get that far. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's grab ourselves some money here. And then try and dodge Atlas. Yep. Alright. Again, this build is for nostalgia's sake. So for good old times. Oh, thank God we don't have to fight you. Thank fucking God. Thank the Lord. Amen, brother. Ooh. Love that. Upgrade right away. We'll get both. Now, usually you don't want to buy your standard upgrade right away, because you might not have a Nox on your floor. And there you could trade your unupgraded standard and then upgrade it later. So you get a benefit from that. I don't really care about that today. I want to be a little more sloppy today. A little more casual. Now against these regular enemies we do deal pretty good damage on first floor. Against elementals, as previously mentioned, not so much. Not at all, in fact. Our cactus is the only good high damage Arcana that we even have. Even these slimes are pure trouble. They can still attack you while they are poisoned, as most enemies can. I like the upgrade here. I definitely want that right away. Haven't even seen the merchant already spend all of my money. So typical. Just playing around the poison, just kiting our enemies until they die. Early game is a breeze since enemies are so slow and you can just easily kite them around for days. Kiting, of course, being a term for damaging an enemy and then just walking away until you get your abilities back up. So hit and run. Hit the mag onto the caltrops there with my basic. Thank you for destroying that tree for me. Ah, didn't pay attention there, didn't see the shield. Yeah, this is exactly what happens when you get stunned once by your own fucking Bolas. My god, you just get fucked up. Hey, poison resistance. That's cool. Yeah, you gotta pay attention here. If you don't, your run could be over on first stage. That was a very good demonstration, though. Of course, fully intentional, not me slipping up. Now that's gonna make paying for my robe a little bit more of a harsh punishment. Tried destroying the projectile with my cactus there. I failed miserably. We only get one go, so if we fuck this up, that's it. It's like in life. Oh no. Just get rid of one. That's my recommendation. Just kill the weakling first. Hey, healing. Sweet. Only 400 more health to go, huh? Sweet, thank you. My prayers have been heard. Move in while they're still stunned before they teleport away. We get a Venom Stone and a Frost Stone, that's cool. I do like both of those very much. Let's say we get the Frost Stone first, because it simply nets more value. And why so, you might ask? Well, it's quite simple actually. Because we already poison with all of our abilities, so more poison is not exactly the way to increase our damage. Now we'll take this very slowly and just attack when it is absolutely safe. He's just kept stunned for days. That kind of looked like a bug to me. I don't know what happened there to him. Ah, yep, got stuck in a wall. Just too far to the wall. You get punished for pretty much anything you do on this build. Get used to that. Okay. That was easily the worst first floor that I have ever put on this channel. Easily. Not even close. Let's hope it gets better from there, because otherwise I'm just gonna die. Why do I have 537 HP? That is a very odd number. How did that come to be? Alright, from the upgrade. 7.5% max health, 50% run speed, 7.5 armor, 7.5 evade chance. So it's just a very minute upgrade, but it is notable. It is notable that this is sort of what keeps me alive here. Or what kept me alive so far, should I say. Just take one's time, huh? Don't be impatient. That's a sin, my friend. And that's what we get punished for in this game. Now we could easily do the 3 skulls there because we have a lot of piercing and AoE, but let's not. Let's not do that. You know? Let's not die on second stage. I do still consider this first stage, but it is technically second, right? We gotta be very wary of our Froststone when attacking big beefy black guys, because as you might know, if you freeze a black guy and then you unfreeze it, he will immediately strike. Immediately. There's absolutely no way to dodge that attack, not even with the fastest of Arcana, so you want to avoid that at all costs. Bolas does... Oh, really? Bolas does destroy projectiles. I'm not sure whether Cactus does. I believe it does. Kansai, I do exactly remember that. Thank you very much, Froststone. Kill the regular summoner first so he doesn't interrupt me. And then shotgun my way out of here. Cool. We are slowly but surely making our way back up. Thanks for the evasion. I was not exactly expecting that to be a curveball. Man, I am sloppy today. I never play this terribly, honestly. I can probably say that for myself, though. Yeah, sure. Let's get that final upgrade right away. Sweet. Very good upgrade. 10 out of 10. Very lovely. Thank you very much, Kanye. Don't get stuck in the wall again. But that looked decent there. Two sprites and a Midas item. Poison sprite and lightning sprite. That's cool. I will definitely grab the lightning sprite for the reasons aforementioned for the stone. The more different status ailments we carry, the more damage we can deal. Since if we pick more poison, we're just gonna hinder ourselves. We will just hinder ourselves. It's okay to hide. In fact, it's very helpful to do so. I tried casting my my stunner there 2 times and it wouldn't work. I don't know what's wrong. Magnetic follower. Okay. That's cool. Let's get this sprite. Maybe we'll get the other one as well. You are just such a fucking nuisance today. Thanks for the evasion. Now, while the basic Arcana upgrade is a pretty good upgrade, it also has a massive detriment in that it massively affects your rhythm of how you strike, how you want to hit enemies. The sort of 1-2 dash, 1-2 dash. It gets completely changed up by this. Because you're kind of stuck in the final hit animation. You can't just get out of it that easily. And you will end up not using that so often. Not as often as you would the regular version. I believe it also stacks up a whole lot worse with Field Berserk, for example. Okay. In my excuse for all the stuttering and the difficulty of talking today, I feel like I'm really getting sick. I got snot in my throat. It's really hard opening my mouth at times and talking currently. I really feel like I'm getting sick. But it's not so bad that... Oh my god, dude. That's exactly what I mean. It's not so bad yet that I would have trouble recording. And I really enjoy doing this. So, I might as well do it right now. Not even gonna hesitate, just shotgunning straight up into their face. Why am I stuttering so much today, man? I guess there's also another reason for it, as I am very uncomfortable playing this build. I haven't for a long time, and it's not a build that I can easily pick back up again. It's fairly difficult to play this. And I think my first and probably my second floor are just a very strong proof of that fact that you can just casually pick this back up. While also getting sick apparently, and probably tired and old as well. And maybe a myriad of other excuses as well. It is just not easy. But I am having my fun here. That's all that counts. Vortex is definitely gonna come in handy here, ever so slightly. Oh yeah, Cactus does destroy projectiles, so I remembered correctly. Vortex is definitely gonna come in handy in that we can kind of stun lock enemies, casting it twice in a row, very shortly after one another, which also allows for us to pull enemies back into our Caltrops, for example. Which is great. I do like that. Definitely helpful. I really have trouble talking with all this snot in my throat. Oh shit! Yeah, damn it. He unfroze slightly faster than I was expecting to. Definitely caught me by surprise. Okay, moving over here. Okay, that is definitely not good stuff that I'm seeing. I don't really want any of this, I'm sorry. These are really not good. At least we found some stones and fairies so far, that's great. Could have been a lot worse. Like now, actually. The items right there are pretty much fully signature charge related and therefore not very good. And then they are all very niche as well, like having to be on low HP in order for the item to have any effect. I am definitely not upgrading the Flame Cleaver here, so I can sell it off as my only unupgraded Arcana. It will be prioritized. I do like the Super Carrot Cake. This could actually be okay since we take a lot of damage. The Prismatic Wind Chime, whenever you're afflicted by a status effect, this doesn't really work all that well. Like, I've never really played with this much because when I get hit, it's not always by a status ailment, straight up. It's usually just being stun locked by a thief, for example, and those don't typically apply status ailments, so, And then these two are Arcana based, and this one is just your projectors destroy any other projectors they strike. I already do that, thank you very much. So let's grab the carrot cake. We might be able to make that work, not only for reasons of getting slightly more HP from everything, but also because it gives us the opportunity, it grants us the potential to pick up the Dependable Cake later. I think I'll also sell the Albert's formula, but only after having done this, because it seems awfully useless with our current items. I hate lances. Just so much. Love the evasion here, the occasional evasion from our patience robe, it's definitely coming in handy. More water damage, thank you very much. I might also keep all these because then I can power up a Mimic later if I do come across that item. I think that's the better solution here. Just keep all the garbage, also get this, because I do get hit quite a lot, so this might actually net some value for me. Keep all the garbage and then pump it into a Mimic. Gambling is definitely not the way to play Wizard of Legend, but today I feel like we don't have another choice. Okay, so binoculars enhance the damage of these two, which is great, but I might want glass cannon. These stones also count as projectiles, so that's great. So then we're gonna be taking the binoculars here. Let's hope we get to find a Mimic, or at least we get to see another Nox. Okay. Oops. That was meant to go onto the platform there. Clearly didn't. Oh. Okay. So we need another water Arcana to pop that. Definitely want to do that, I think. But if we find good items in the shop, we'll instead spend our precious money on those. As gambling really isn't the way to go. I am gambling a lot at this point. Thank you, Froststone, very helpful. Step back after attacks that don't exactly allow you to see through the attack. So Aquavotics, for example, is like super dense. I can't exactly look through the attack. And therefore I can't see what's going on, who survives, who doesn't, and therefore I want to step back to just keep myself in check and check who's left alive, so I don't get stun locked. Another sprite, I see 2 other sprites in fact. And then the magician's top hat. I already forgot about the Nux. I did pick binoculars, so there's no more cursed items on this floor. And then we get nothing here. Well, a 200 buck glacial spear. Now the question is, do we spend 200 bucks on popping that chest up there, or are we not clinically insane? We'll see. I would deem that it's highly unlikely I'm gonna spend that large amount of money. On one crate with potentially good items. I do like the sprites. And then, yeah, this is really rough. I mean, if there were an enemy up there, I could have tried using freezing sprite to hit the chest. But as is, that's not a possibility. Let's get both sprites, so we got 4 out of 5 sprites right now. At least we got joy in this run, okay. We're not having a good time. Sorry. Correction, we are having a good time. We're not having a great time, but at least we got joy. Love all these sparkling sprites behind me. Now, of course, we do not have 200 bucks to spare here for the chest. I am not exactly that knowledgeable about these mechanics. Does the sprite just fire by itself? No, it does not. Is there any other way I could do this? I don't think so. Froststone doesn't seem to be hitting the chest. My sprite doesn't hit it by itself, it needs an enemy to be targeted nearby. And I can't use the same Arcana twice. I don't have anything that, when I take damage, for example, would deal water damage nearby, so... Unfortunately, I think we gotta leave you behind, soldier. That's just how it is. Man. Kinda sucks. Kinda slabs, though. We could have also bought some like the Spell Thief socks here, which I don't consider super useful running this build. I already got increased run speed as well, so I don't exactly need that item. But I did consider it. That's why I consider. Remember, that was in the store. That just went nowhere. Now charging here is a little dangerous, but I will try anyway, and I did have success. Cool. Bye-bye, you guys. That was a blast. These are always fun to fight. Okay, I'm not gonna be picking that, am I? I would prefer Aqua Vortex since I already have water damage increases. However, this does count as a projectile, right? No, it does not. Alright. Then you'll be left in the dust, my friend. We don't have to fight wind anyway, so the water is definitely going to come in handy into Zeal here. I feel like I am slowly regaining my ability to speak coherently without stuttering and getting caught up in snot from my throat. So yeah, that's definitely a win in my book. As when I started recording this video, I could barely talk. You might not notice as the viewer, but yeah, it is pretty fucking difficult to talk with snot in your throat. With this level of snot in your throat. I hate getting sick, but again, who likes getting sick? At least, I feel like, subjectively, the food, the first good food after having gotten sick and then recovering, always tastes awesome. Because you kind of essentially feel like, yeah, I will never enjoy anything ever again while being super sick. And then food is like, yeah, oh my god, right, this exists. Where have you been all my life? And then sometimes the you're sick and someone made food for you food is also awesome. I really love soups. And, man, a good soup with buns or bread with butter on it, or maybe just more than simply butter on it. Man, that shit is fantastic, especially when I'm sick. I love that. Oh, the black guy was still alive there. Using the knowledge of projectile destruction in order to make a counterplay to the thief there. Ah, I hate that shield, it's so fast. That was a very rough room. Lots of dancing around. Should have just used the Aqua Vortex. I was very hesitant on that. I should have used it straight up. And then I used it at the worst possible moment when exactly that, what I dreaded, happened. That being the shield. The, man, what's it called? Ignition shield? Ignition rush? So the flame shield that deals damage on contact around enemies. And then happened exactly the moment I used Aqua Vortex. Super duper annoying. But also kind of my fault there. Now, it seems like we're not gonna be finding a Mimic in this run. Oof. And all of these items are super terrible. I would probably run Golden Arm of Envy after having full cleared the floor, but still, all of these are absolutely horrendous items. Just shotgun, don't even risk it. Don't even risk it for a biscuit, man. It's not worth it. Alright, you guys have fun over there. I'll be... no, it's starting again. Well, I will be looting your corpses. There we go. Now we got a large chest from that. I totally forgot about that part. I think that's usually a Mimic, right? Let's check it out. No, it's a chest. It's an inanimate object. Hell yeah. Let's raid it. Let's plunder. Love the pirate mentality there. How? Excuse me, sir? How did you just teleport behind me while rooted? Doesn't that defeat the purpose of being rooted? This game has some very wonky programming at times, let me tell ya. Love the piano music, so chill. Haven't had that for a while. I strongly favor the jazz soundtrack over all the others. And then after that, shortly thereafter, is probably the bass soundtrack, which I find quite great at times. It's just so full of adventure and action. Very fitting. Now what do we do? I do like the Token of Doom, but we only get one more chance here to proc it, so maybe it's just a simple Stygian. Ah, this is really bad. This is really bad, and I don't have a lot of money, so now I'll get the Stygian right away. I'm sorry, I cannot not get it right away. I was thinking, yeah, like we have a very expensive play we could make, because we could buy the Armor of Envy or Greed or whatever the hell it's called, and that would mean we would need a lot of money for the next floor and the floor after for those shops. Like at least 200 plus coins to buy a single item, and therefore we wouldn't really be able to spend any money. And then I was debating on whether or not it would be fruitful to first finish the mini-boss on this stage and then potentially get an item that grants us cost reduction at the shop. So we can then buy a... Oh my god, talking. We can then go ahead and buy the Stygian for a reduced price, but I don't think that would be very fruitful. I don't think that's very likely to occur anyway, so I might as well go ahead and fuck that play up, you know. Anything else? Yeah. I do like the token. I do also like Evening Gloves. It's a little more damage. I might run the token. Now that also means that I will pretty much not be able to run to get the armor here. I'm just kind of waiting for a moment to strike, like right there. Kill all the archers. And then hit the rogue as well as the mini-boss. I always forget that he deals contact damage. I hate that. So when he dashes through, you also take damage for whatever reason. Kinda makes sense, but also, fuck you, dude. So, do we get anything? What do we get? I hate this so much. It's way too late for Crocodile Heart, so that's not a viable pickup here. I have a lot of weird themes going on here, none of which are super helpful. The cake is neat, and then Stygian is great, and then the sprites and the binoculars are cool, but other than that, most of the items here are pretty terrible. I would love the golden armor. That is definitely a win. Pretty much a guaranteed win. That much armor. I can take a bunch of damage, and then I have Stygian as well. Evening Gloves, though, maybe? Maybe, just, nah, I don't think I want to, because I have binoculars, and so my basic doesn't deal that much damage. Then Token of Doom, let's evaluate this. Okay, what is the value we could get out of this? We could find another Nox. Let's wait. Let's see. So we have seen Cremar before, but we haven't used his services. We have seen the Doctor, I believe, before Dr. Song. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure whether or not we did. But then again, we could get to see either Cremar or the Doctor again. We have done Pinata, I believe. Again, I can't even remember, man. My dementia is just too advanced for this. Let's grab the token. But then what do we get rid of? Do we get rid of Alberts? Or something else? Gummy vitamins is pretty bad, right? At this point. But it's stackable. Which could be beneficial when trying to stack up a Mimic. Which is unlikely, though, that we will try and do that, because we will have to spend like 200 bucks an item. So yeah, I'd say this is an okay-ish strategy. Now, rely on getting cursed items for the final floor here, instead of getting the chance to buy another potentially good item. What would even be a potentially good item? That's a pretty good question. I think for the most part you want cursed items playing this build. I don't think there are that many regular items that are super strong, because increased signature charge gain is okay. Okay, and that's the only thing I can really think of off the top of my head. And then stones and sprites are like okay, but not huge damage ups that are run winning. Now, good items I generally consider defensive items. Talking about regular items such as the Stygian Turtle Shell, that's definitely a very good item. Very good normal item. But other than defensive items like that and Kasim's, I really can't think of any. I would go as far as to say there are not any very good offensive regular shop items. There's only like 5% crit increase, slight damage increases, slightly more signature charge, and then the amalgamations of those, the final amalgamations of those, such as the rocket, for example, right? We just get a lot more signature, but it's also very expensive. I don't think it gets any better than those items, and therefore going for cursed items here and betting all my chips on finding a mimic is probably feasible. See, and we actually get to find one of the handful of good items here, which straight up increases all damage dealt. Wow. But then the rest is pretty bad. Mirror at least heals you fully, but I would have to spend 200 bucks plus for this. And it's absolutely pretty much never worth it. What is it, 225 bucks? I don't know. I don't exactly know the price. It says 16% price increase, but it looks more like 100%. I don't typically remember the default pricing for items, with very few exceptions that I've seen countless times, like the quill. Okay, we definitely want to stop trying to use our entire basic here. We just want to tap. First of all, it doesn't deal much damage. It gets us hit a lot more than it should be. Yeah, we definitely don't want to overuse that here. We are just too slow at this point. Just tap it lightly for a small bit of damage instead of trying to hit the jackpot. Next time I should definitely focus on killing the small black guys first. Without Aquavortex, I would have been in quite a bit of trouble there. Now, the fact that we will be seeing Noxia also means that we won't be seeing Song, and we won't be able to trade away. Oh, well, not just Song, but any of them, like the Cardis, for example. And we won't be able to get better Arcana here, and we won't be able to trade away our Flame Cleaver that we've been keeping for all this time. So, there are pros and cons to this play. Lots of pros, lots of cons. We do find Adorable Mimic. Oh my god, that's a run saver right there. Still, even with all that damage, it's not gonna be a breeze beating Sura. Or Zeal, even. Now that is a treat. If I've ever seen one, that is very nice. I don't even have to consider taking any other items there. It's for sure the Mimic, that's what we've been working towards. And that is the only thing that could be giving us that much damage here. Now we will be attempting the mini-boss before buying into the Mimic, as we get another item from this, most likely. Group up as many as possible. We gotta kill the ads first, otherwise we'll be fucked. Fucking left in the dust by these. Just tap. Just tap gently and let the poison do the rest. Okay. No item gain, but a little bit of healing, that's cool. Fine by me. Now in here I'd like to drop all my items that I want to keep. I believe Carrot Cake does keep the increase when I pick it back up. Yes it does. I did test that recently with a quill. I'm not sure I want to keep that. I think I do though. But then again, I don't think it has that much impact. I already have lost so much HP. There's no way I'm getting back to my max HP here. There's just no way. Gyroscoping? No. No. I do want to get rid of the sprites. They are super fancy and lovely, but I need to bring this run home, after all. The Devis is also not gonna be of any major use here any longer because, again, into Sora this does nothing, unfortunately. So we're gonna be trading that away. Same for the Froststone. It deals rather underwhelming damage. We have to be in melee range as well, which is unlikely into Sora and Zeal, so might as well toss it. And then other than that, I don't think we really have any good items. We could get... we could keep the Shiva's water bottle, but we only have one water Arcana, so we will be getting rid of every single item we own, except binoculars, except the armor, and except a Stygian turtle shell. For a sweet, what is it, 50% plus adorable mimic? 65% damage increase adorable mimic. This is a 4-item run, ladies and gentlemen. Holy crap. Now, do I want to heal before this? I do not think I do. I don't think I have to. I will also... I could get Idealists. That's the fun part, right? I could just get a full heal, but we're not doing that. I will be getting an Amulet as well. Hear me out. It's just a lot more damage. Now, I know we won't be finding double trouble at this point, but just having a bunch of damage should get the job done for us. Yes, we will very likely be taking some damage here, but that's fine. I'm okay. I'm fine with that. As long as we end this quickly and we don't die here. That's cool. That looks like a respectable amount of damage. Keep tapping. And we got her whittled down already. That's cool. This bitch is, after all, desperate. And she's down. Cool. We only took, well, like 20, 30 damage from that. That's cool. I will be taking those. Thank you very much. Seekers are helpful. They do the work for me, so I don't have to bother aiming. And Feint, I believe I'm gonna use them right away, even though Aqua Vortex is very nice. Or maybe I'll just get rid of this entirely, because it's not super helpful at this point. I'm barely using my basic. I didn't see that shot there, coming from above. I always want to get rid of the artillery first, right? Whatever game you're playing, the artillery is always gonna bother you. It's always super annoying to deal with. And the artillery in this game is clearly the small black guys. Super annoying. How did I miss the thief there? Come on. We get an earthen wart. Sweet. Shoot in between them. As to hit both, but unfortunately the thief wasn't locked down for long enough. And where's the mage? I guess we already killed him? Not sure. The earthen ward is definitely very welcome. Whoops. Well, only issue is I have to equip it. Can't forget about that. Now, we won't get the upgrade here, unfortunately, which would also increase our wind damage. I think that's fine. Just keep tapping, let the poison do the rest. Be very patient, right? After all, that's the whole topic. Oh my god! We actually get it? We actually get the upgrade. What the hell? What the hell, man? Well, so much about patience being the theme of this build. Not so much. Apparently we are just full-blown rushing the rest of this run. Might as well get this for good measure, right? Okay, let's do this. We got here, we successfully completed the challenge, essentially, right? Now we only gotta beat Sora. How hard can it be? The answer is, very hard. But at least we got a 65% Mimic, you know, it could be so much worse. We could not be having a Mimic. Have you ever considered that? How bad that would be? I fucking hate that attack from the bottom of my heart.
Stygian! Wait, Stygian not going active on that. Don't know why. Even with this very defensive, very slow build, I still want to play as aggressively as humanly possible. Because it's still fun, man. It's fun risking it for the biscuit. Risking my ass. Oh, you son of a fuck. This should be a win, right? We can bring this home. Yep. Goodbye, Sora. What a rough run. What a rough start. I'm just super rough on myself today. I can barely talk. It's like everything is falling apart right in front of my eyes and ears. But still, we managed to win. We managed to bring this run home with the power of evaluation. Hell yeah, and a lot of luck, granted. But that wasn't just the mimic, right? We probably still could have figured this out without the mimic. It's just super helpful. Thank you very much, my friend. You are indeed very adorable and cutesy wootsy. Feel huggied and kissied. Thank you very much for this, I dare to say, free run. Thank you very much. And to you, dear, very patient viewer, thank you very much for not having clicked off of this video just because I keep stuttering like... I don't even know, man. Thank you very much for being patient with me and sticking with this patience-themed build, man. Everything is just coming to a halt today, apparently. As per usual, again, thank you very much for watching, and I wish you a good morning, a good day, or a good night, wherever you are. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, hopefully, I'm gonna stay healthy, or get back to where I used to be. And, goodbye. Oh yeah, hopefully, you stay healthy as well, obviously, right? Wish you health and luck and all that crap. Until then, bye bye.